It's Luke chapter 2, verse 36. And there was one Anna, a prophetess, the daughter of Phanuel of the tribe of Asher.
Of the tribe of Asher. So this is in the land. This is what was going on at this time. Let's go up a couple of verses.
Okay. Alrighty.
So we can kind of get the time frame in. You want to go? You can jump. You can start wherever. Just jump to that.
Lightning Gentile. Okay, let's go to 30. Joseph and his mother marveled.
Yeah, Joseph and his mother. Okay.
Jump up to 33. And Joseph and his mother marveled at those things which were spoken of him. And Simeon blessed them and said unto Mary his mother, Behold, this child is set for the fall and rising again of many in Israel, and for a sign which shall be spoken against. Ye, a sword shall pierce through thy own soul also, that the thoughts of many hearts may be revealed. And there was one Anna, a prophetess, the daughter of Phanuel of the tribe of Asher.
Of the tribe of Asher. And how old was she?
She was of a great age, and had lived with an husband 7 years for her virginity, from her virginity.
Yeah. You said how old she was? 80, how much?
And she was a widow of about 84 years, which departed not from the temple. 84
years old. Of the tribe of Asher. So there had to be other Asherites. Her dad was of the tribe of Asher.
That's right.
So yeah, we admit that there's other, we're going to show you the whole world. We're not going to hide this from you. We're going to show you, there was northern kingdom that was in the land that was with the southern kingdom. Because even when you go back into the split, not everybody of the northern kingdom even went, not everybody in the northern kingdom was in full agreement. You had the bulk of them, but the Most High had it that some of their hearts were actually going to wanted to come back to the land. All right, and just like you saw when the temple was built up. So they could have stayed back where they were, but you had certain people that said, look, we're going to go back now that Cyrus took over, right?
Yeah.
He's took over, and he's allowing us to go back. They said, we're going to go back. Northern and Southern Kingdom did that. Okay, so you had those of the Northern Kingdom that was around during that time. That's the reason why when you go into the different accounts in the scriptures with the what's it called? The Good Samaritan. What's it called? The 10 lepers that were cleansed.
Right.
Those were Israelites.
That's right.
They just lived in the land, the region that was called Samaria, which Samaria was actually just the capital of the Northern Kingdom. That's where the Northern Kingdom had their capital, and that name just stuck with them even up to the time of the Romans. Okay. So we can stop right there. Give me Isaiah 11. We'll start at, I think it's verse 11 and 11. Thou shalt not vex. Yeah, 12. Yeah. Go ahead and read that whole thing. Because it'll go into thou shalt. Judge Peter shall not vex Ephraim.
Yeah.
So it starts from 11.
This is Isaiah 11:11. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Most High shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea.
Now when you even go into those different territories and lands, we were actually in lands, in those different captivities, we're actually in those lands. Jake was in Elam, Jake was in Cush, he was in Assyria. All those different lands, you had Israelites, Northern and Southern Kingdom, that were in those different lands. But when you go into like some of the captivities, it's primarily the Southern Kingdom that was taken in this captivity and the Northern Kingdom in another. Okay, and then you had some that left according to prophecy. Some of them decided to leave and come over here. And it would make sense, because if you think about it, if they left the Assyrian captivity, which is around 722 BC or so, right? If they came over here after the Assyrian captivity, after Babylon took down the Assyrians, if they decided to take that counsel to come over here, they wouldn't even need that many of each tribe to populate like they did over here.
Right.
Because if you think about it, by the time Esau came here, let's just say 700 BC to the time of Yahweh Shai, that's 700 years. Then from that time all the way up until the time Esau came, there's another 1,500.
Yeah.
You're talking about 2,200 years of being in another side of the world without nobody messing with them. So of course they're gonna explode population, man.
That's right.
Y'all gotta look up something called exponential growth. Just type in exponential growth. The population grows exponentially. How do you think Israel became as the sand of the sea that can't be counted for multitude?
Right.
We had an exponential population growth. So they could even be 1,000 from each tribe of the 10 of the tribes, and they could populate and be 1 billion people on this side easily in 27 in what 2,200 years. That's not out the realm of possibility. Come on, it tells you that in the scriptures that Joseph went in with about 70-some souls, right? It was about 70 or so of his house that went into Egypt and came out a great multitude.
Yep.
That multitude was in the millions. According to Esau, he says about 6 to 7 million Israelites left Egypt. I'm gonna just say according to Esau. But that's a lot of people to grow in 400 years.
Yes, right.
To have a small, that many people and grow. It will probably definitely more than that. That's exponential population growth. Because each generation you could double each generation before it. You know? It just makes sense. So keep going.
Verse 12. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth.
The outcasts of Israel, because Israel, the northern kingdom, was cast away. They were no longer his, you know, they were actually cast away at one point for their idolatry. So they became outcasted of the Lord. And then the dispersed of Judah, right?
Right.
Keep going.
The envy also of Ephraim shall depart.
The envy of Ephraim. Okay, because when you go back into it, the northern kingdom, because they didn't really have the king of Israel, there was envy there. When you go into the split between Jeroboam and Rehoboam, the reason why the split happened, part of it was because the northern kingdom felt like they had no lot in Israel amongst the kings, so to speak.
Right.
Because they felt like, oh, well, look, the kings coming from Judah and from Benjamin or whatever, we should just go to our own house. And that's what happened with Jeroboam and Rehoboam. That was part of the council of amongst the northern kingdom that they should split away from the southern kingdom. That's when the division came. That was part of came back from envy. Keep going.
And the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off.
And the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Because Judah had many adversaries, including the northern kingdom.
That's right.
Right.
So the wicked amongst them is going to be, but ultimately it's about the other nations. Because really when it comes, when you examine what's happening to Judah, Judah is, you know, the hatred between Esau and Judah is like on a higher level than anything else. And then, you know, and the adversaries of Judah throughout the four corners of the earth. Because they were dispersed, they were really dispersed throughout the four corners of the earth. Go ahead.
Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim.
And Ephraim should not, Judah should not vex. And let's go into that word for vex. This is verse 13.
Yeah,
Isaiah 11 and 13. Look up the word for vex. Because it's talking about the relationship between the northern and southern kingdom. Which is the reason why spiritually you got a lot of guys that don't want them to come into the fold. It's all spiritual. And you're going to see it.
The word vex. Verb, to make someone feel annoyed, frustrated, or worried, especially with trivial matters. To cause distress to.
Is that in the blue letter?
Oh.
Is that in the blue letter?
I'm still up in this wiki, hold on.
Yeah, Esau, you know, he'll play around with the words, which that means that. Vex does mean to do that. You're vexing me. You know, someone say you vexing me, man.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, that's what they're doing. See, when guys come out and they actually talk against the northern kingdom and brothers and sisters from the northern kingdom see these guys putting out videos and lessons against them, saying that they're heathen, that actually vexes them.
That's right.
You know?
Right. So
like the brother brought out, that's a correct definition. You know, but we're going to go into the Hebrew. Based on the Hebrew, what is that word for vex? It's 11 and 13.
Okay. Vex. vex. The word is yana, to oppress, suppress, treat violently, maltreat, vex, do wrong.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
Yeah. Do wrong. You know, in fact, let me see if I get another one. Yeah, because that's what basically a lot of these guys do. When they do that, they're actually doing them wrong. So they're heathen. And you know, the good thing about it is that a lot of those guys that believe that, y'all are out on the streets anyway. You know? And it's all spiritual, you know? Because a lot of those guys that believe that, you notice they ain't even on the streets.
Right, right.
They just basically saying that stuff from the confines of their own home, you know, talking, you know, madness and stuff, you know? Yeah, to show hostility. That's another one. To show hostility. So it's all spiritual, because when you look at it, this whole thing, nobody in the Northern Kingdom actually does that to the Southern Kingdom that's in the truth. You don't see no videos of people from the Northern Kingdom making videos against the Southern Kingdom.
Right.
Right. They don't do that. It's all on one side because it's all part of it. Okay? Now go to Ezekiel 37. So we can go into the one stick in the hand.
It's Ezekiel 37, chapter 15. The word of the Most High came again unto me, saying, Moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions.
Yeah, the children of Israel, his companions. So, the 12 tribe sign. A stick is a poster, a placard. This is the reason why we have that out here. Okay? So what we're doing by having this out here, we're actually trying to show the Northern and Southern Kingdom on this side that they're brethren and sisters. You know? I mean, it's plain and simple, man. It's like, come on, bro. Like, look at the Northern tribes, man. Look at the talent they got, bro. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the tribes, look who's dominating in the combat sports, man. Sports in general. Come on, bro. Like the so-called Mexicans and Puerto Ricans ain't got flavor, man. Come on, bro. You must be out your damn mind. You know? Like people don't want to walk like a cholo. You know what I'm saying? You get where I'm coming from.
That's right.
What's wrong with these people, huh?
I don't know.
They're crazy, man. It really is. When you think about it, it's crazy because when you first heard it, it made sense to you.
That's right.
Like they are people that they break down as Christians. Like, damn, you know what? Damn, that does make sense.
That's right.
That's right.
You see it, bro. It makes sense to you automatically, man. Some of these jakes also, they live in places where it's nothing but you. Living like Detroit. you know, you got Jake that ain't really experienced different tribes.
Yeah.
They ain't experienced different people. So sometimes that lack of travel or that lack of exposure to the other tribes will also have it to where you don't understand it.
That's right.
You know? Like they can't dance. Come on, man. Like they can't do, you know? Like they don't got laws that go into the scriptures that they were keeping before Esau came in.
Right.
Like when you go into the scriptures and it shows you the Hebrew, man, the Hebrew. The lost lunar stone.
Right, right.
You know?
That's right.
You got different names, and you look at the different names of the different people that were over here, a lot of them have Hebrew names. You know, like I was telling a brother about an account about a guy named Quanah Parker. Y'all should look it up. Cynthia Ann Parker. The guy Quanah Parker was, I think he was a Cherokee, I believe.
Yeah.
He was of the tribe of Gad. His name was Quanah, which is actually a Hebrew word. Which means to acquire, to possess.
Right.
Because he was actually the son of his father's possession. Because his father went to war against Esau here in Texas, and when they raided the Edomites, they took some of their women. They took some of the young women as concubines and servants, which is in the law.
Right.
Right.
And what happened was one of them young Edomites that was taken, her name was Cynthia Ann Parker, she ended up being one of the concubines of the chief of that tribe and had a son named Quanah, which means acquired or possessed. So he was the son of his possession because she gave birth to him.
Yeah.
But Esau will come and flip it and tell you it means something else and all that stuff. Esau is the devil, man. He don't want you to really know who you are. And really a lot of you people that are, you know, we understand this thing is all spiritual. And it's not meant for you to understand that the northern kingdom on this side of the world, like we said, there are of the northern kingdom that are scattered in other lands, that are left in the Middle East. We understand that. Right. Some of them even went down to Africa. Some of them even left in Europe. You get what I'm saying? But if you don't want to understand that, really, it's because the Most High didn't want you to understand.
That's right.
You know? But that's the reason why we have this 12 tribe sign out, which is important for prophecy. So keep going on that, Ezekiel.
Take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions. Then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel, his companions.
Right.
And join them one to another.
Join them one to another. Why are they being joined symbolically in this? Because at one point they were divided, they were separated.
Yeah.
That goes back to the split. Because the Most High is actually trying to build back, you know, the kingdom, and all 12 tribes of the elect have to be brought back together, of the elect. We're going to say that, we're going to stress that, of the elect. We're not saying all Israel going to be saved. We're not on that. The scriptures don't say that. Okay? So of the elect, he's going to bring them together. Okay, keep going.
And join them one to another into one stick, and they shall become one in thy hand.
And they shall become one in thy hand. So just like that stick was joined together, the Most High is going to join it into one hand, which really is going to be, you know, Yahweh.
Right.
He said that no one can take them out of my hand, right?
That's right.
Well, no one can take them out of my Father's hand. And all of mine are thine, right? And thine are mine. This is what Yahweh Shai said. So whatever the Most High is going to give to him, it's going to be in that one hand, symbolically. And it's not going to be plucked out and taken. The Most High is going to bring that into the kingdom. So that's the reason why we had to do this. And Esau understood that he had to set division between the tribes, man. That was all part of the crafty counsel for him to give a lot of these, like, Latin American tribes Spanish, give them different languages and things like that. When they brought the Southern Kingdom into places like Dominican Islands or to Colombia, he tried to cause division. Even till now, you know, they use the Edomite supremacy, or as you know it as white supremacy, against